only we had a bit of this yesterday, eh? Yo, people, deluded, I'm back again. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. Good morning to those of you like myself in the United Kingdom. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Hope everyone, is doing well and safe wherever they are. Hope you're all having a progressive week. Hope you're all fit and healthy. Arsenal fans, we lost, but there's more important things in life, man. We could have got battered, it is what it is. We're leaving with something. Martinelli, decent performance. We're coming, at least we got the nutmeg in it. Who needs 3 points? That's too mainstream. On a serious note, football means the world to me, but there's slightly more things important in real life, especially what's going on geopolitically. Win, lose or draw, we need to keep perspective in general, people. So yeah, Arsenal fans, hold your heads. Liverpool fans, shout out to you lot, but I hope some of you missed the last train back up to Liverpool, innit, really and truly. On that note as well, again, shout out to everybody tuned in. It's another jam-packed day of content. We're here at 10 a.m. We go over to YouTube at 11:30. I believe at 5:10, I'm scheduled to go live for the Europa League, so we'll watch that. And I don't know between Lyon or Porto and West Ham Sevilla which game we might be able to watch later on after that, people, or better yet, what watch after that. So I don't know. I'm still deciding which one. Do I go with West Ham Sevilla, which was a stink fest? Lyon Porto might be the same, but it's continental and that. So yeah, man. Obviously, throughout this live stream, we're going to talk about, well, I'm going to offer my opinions on Arsenal and the Liverpool game. Get your home in there. Well, unfortunately, Paul Pogba's house has been robbed. I'm sure in the last few hours, in the last literally 8 or so hours, I'm sure you've all seen the whole Marcus Rashford with the fan stuff. Obviously, Chelsea went through in the Champions League, had a little scare, if you could say that, with the penalty with Lille, Aspilicueta and Cole. So looking at them Juventus highlights, boy, Juventus, Kalas, Regani, Kalas, Delit, Kalas. Shout to Coquelin for winning the penalty. And yeah, man, Emre go marching on as they beat Juventus 3-0. Vlahovic, you would have been right at home with Arsenal. Brexit settings now. We're all not in Europe, aren't we? Maximiliano Allegri will go for that one. But yeah, unfortunately, Brighton, like they always do, bend over backwards and lie on their back for Spurs. Harry Kane breaking more records and everything there. So it is what it is. I believe there's Europa League action, Premier League action today as well. I think Newcastle, Everton, is it? I could be capping people. I definitely think Newcastle are in action. So yeah, man, large up everybody tuned in. Appreciative to you guys, not only on Twitch, but YouTube as well. We're moving, man. H, appreciate you for subscribing with Amazon Prime, man. I appreciate that. It is what it is. So yeah, man. Yeah, they robbed Pogba allegedly when he was on holiday. And a man said holiday when he was playing, and that, to be fair to you, as I said yesterday, the thing that is scary, listen, in life, and especially someone like Paul Pogba, anything they robbed, jewelry, electricals, whatever, Pogba can buy them thing there back, man. Them thing there can get bought. What you can't buy back is peace of mind, feeling helpless, feeling guilty. Like, for some reason, Pogba probably feels guilty that because they robbed his yard while his kids were sleeping. That is scary, people. That's chilling. People were tiptoeing around your house as the little kids rest their head. Now, fortunately, these guys are just thieves. They're just thief. They're just taking what they're taking and keeping it moving. They've got some morals. But as you know, in life, things can go south. And I don't even want to put that into the air, how it, what could have happened to people and the various things. So that's scary. Obviously, I know a lot of people sit there and go, oh, why don't footballers just get security? And I agree. When you see houses getting robbed, Reece James's house getting robbed, Gabriel having to fight, man, Ozil and Kolasinac, plenty of other examples as well. Cancelo, what happened to him? I understand people, I understand why footballers wouldn't, because, your life is, as much as it's great, earning a lot of money and them things there, your life is kind of, you don't really get free time. If you go to the CAF, I know you went to the CAF. Liverpool went down the road and walked down Hackney before the game. Everybody knew that, innit? Really and truly. If I go walk down Hackney, once in a while, enough times, I might get, yo, are you deluded? Big up yourself, but I can walk around, innit? So when your life is governed like that and things, I understand why people just want to feel like a normal human being. But I would say, I can't lie, man, it's looking like the best investment you can make is security in it. Now, I don't know how these footballers are getting robbed. I'm sure some of it is just down to chance. I'm sure certain people know certain infos because, you know, they knew Pogba wouldn't be there, I assume. So it's quite scary, man. So I thought so with Pogba and all of them sort of things. It's scary. Like, it's mad scary. And I see Pogba put out some appeal and things like that. It's scary. Like, what more can you say? It's flipping scary, people. Like, it's genuinely scary. Like, so yeah, man. I think the best investment these ballers can make is probably hiring security firms. If not for yourself, there's incidences like this, you know, looking after your house while people are not there. And I think it happens too much to be a coincidence, man. Like, half of the time you hear, you know, these footballers are being robbed while they're playing. Somebody's given the drop, in my opinion, but it is what it is in that regard, man. It could be chance. I don't know. Just thought so with Paul Pogba and his family, man. Anyways, away from all of that, people, away from all of that. What have you got here? Let's talk about the Arsenal game. Now, it all depends where you look at it. I'm not gonna lie. I hate results like yesterday because I think very few people apply tints. Like, I see one guy on my YouTube, I can tell he's had it in the drafts. He's like, tell me what Arteta has proved people wrong, then we lost. We bloody lost to Liverpool. The two losses this year, apologies, have come against City and Liverpool. Now, in that game, of course, both games, there's a lot we could do better. But you either do adapting where you're waiting to draw man out, or, you know, you've allowed the form of Arsenal and the position to somewhat assume we're in a position we're not, and the drug of winning, you're overly disappointed. Likewise, I do think Arsenal fans do this Disneyland Channel thing where, you know, you can't just focus on the bad in that game. You can't just focus on the good, really. You can't sit here and go, if Odegaard scores, if this happens, if that happens, it's another game. Of course it is, but football's a 90-minute game. Liverpool weren't amazing by their own standards. If they switched off for a couple of the chances we had, it could have been a different game. We can only deal with the facts. To some people, this is a Disneyland Channel, Mighty Ducks thing. Some people are very negative, where the truth is in the middle. Ultimately, you can see Arsenal's progress, not just in this game, but the City game. But again, while you can't understate the progress and the progress that's been made, we've got a long way to go in comparison to what Arsenal used to be. Basic competencies, basic game management, basic just being switched on. We've made progress. Now, if we're judging that for a team that can consistently do things top four and beyond, there's a long way to go. And games like Liverpool highlight it, because a lot of deficiencies within these players, with a lot of deficiencies with how we progress play up the field, a lot of the scares we had prior to scoring, a lot of the good things we had, these are prevalent. They've been prevalent in the last 5 games. They've been prevalent since we've turned the season around. They've actually been prevalent when our form wasn't there. It's just according to the narrative what happens. And for me, you know, I think I do think there's too much negativity, and I do think there's too much positivity. We lost the game. Like, there's football is romantic like life, but life is harsh. There's winners and losers. We lost. You know, we can waffle about certain things. They kept the clean sheet, scored 2 goals, grabbed 3 points, bust out. You know, so you can't just sit here and say, oh, well, up until this, we was in it for 54 minutes, and we was, and I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just saying, but what good is that? You know, think you're in it for 54 minutes, but you lost the 90-minute game. It's not making sense. It's that sort of rhetoric where we chop and change league tables and say after 10 games this and that, and the third, really and truly, where the truth is in the middle. There was good, there was bad, there was ugly, there was general naiveties, and there was warning signs. Mane's goal that was ruled out for offside, you know, a couple of nerves within the game. And even, I'm going to get on to Ramsdale, even a lot of revision around fucking Ramsdale. You lot were waffling and retweeting Brendan Rodgers, calling him the best English keeper. Now certain men are turning on them. Ramsdale's been this way, you know. There's been good, bad, and ugly performances in his game, but when he's making acrobatic saves, you know, I remember ironically when we played Liverpool the last time, his distribution, and he looked a bit shaky. The man's human, people. But before we get into all of that, I wanted to kind of illustrate the point I'm making. You know, this is kind of what I mean about this, man. It's like you know, I'm not happy about just being in the game. There's positives. It was, you know, there's things we could take away. I'm not upset about the game, but it's somewhat rewriting history. And when we lost to City, you would have thought we won based on, like I said, Mighty Ducks were moving like it's the 300 and Vikings and that. Shout out to Freddie, you know, whether you're just aligning yourself, and I feel a lot of these guys also, they can get, you know, the interviews and that. Credit to Arsenal for trying to play through a top team. No defensive counter-attacking football, just going toe-to-toe. Thought we were really good in parts, and there wasn't much between the two teams at all. We're getting there. Bigger picture, much more important. I don't disagree with a word said. The bigger picture is important. If we won, we shouldn't draw conclusions. Likewise, if we lose, there's things to build upon. Saying that though, this is forcing it, in my opinion. We're acting like we couldn't have applied ourselves a lot more. We're acting like, in general, counter-attacking isn't the worst thing. We went toe-to-toe with City. We got fuck all from it. City lost against Spurs. You would have thought we beat Spurs. We beat City. We did beat Spurs based on it. So, I do think, why can't we just be honest? There's positivity in the game. There's things we can build upon, but we don't need to be toxically negative or toxically positive, which I think this is changing it. As much as I like going toe-to-toe, I wouldn't describe it as toe-to-toe personally. Necessarily. Liverpool were quite poor by their own standards, take nothing away from us. And even that, even if we counter-attacked and done the job, I wouldn't necessarily. We tried. It weren't enough. In games like this, you need a lot more. You probably need a lot more from certain midfielders. You need a lot more from your striker with Lacazette. You need people to remain switched on. Like, even the 2 goals, Saka's clearance is poor, but before that, Gabriel, in between Gabriel and Saka, when the balls come back in after Saka's poor clearance, we have not cleared our lines properly. We haven't got out. We are literally, Cedric's the only one pushing out. Where's the other 3-4 man? And the midfielders too. We're not following runners, and the warning signs were there. There was warning signs. We're going to go all over it, people. We're going to go all through it, but it is what it is. I'm proud of my guys, but that's the standard. You should make it tough for Liverpool. You should lose with some respect. I'm not going to praise you for doing that. I'm happy you didn't get battered. Yeah, Jota and Firmino can score again, and we frustrated Klopp. You could see Klopp going absolutely ballistic for the first, 45 minutes, probably fighting himself as well as the linesman. We kind of held our shape well and frustrated Liverpool. Thiago for 45 minutes couldn't really do much. The minute he's in our half, you've obviously seen him pick apart. I'm disappointed because, again, against Liverpool, you need to, movement. And the 2 goals we scored, we're not looking over runners. Please go and watch my previous streams. These are the things I said. These are the margins you've got to adhere to. We have got a young and naive squad. Nobody's perfect, as shown with Gabriel, Saka, Martinelli, even getting his head up, Martin Odegaard, Ramsdale, Ben White, who I think were done all right, but then that final level is still evading us. I still think there's positives. We're building something, but we've got to remember, we've made a lot of progress. There's still a long road to go, people, in terms of the street smartness and things. And I think you saw that with Liverpool. The goals are one thing, but it's the way Liverpool are time wasting. They're trying to stifle any momentum we have, even though they're winning 2-0. Somehow nobody's getting yellow cards. This is the ugliness. Like I said, life is beautiful, but life is ugly. These are the sort of things we got to do, These are the sort of things. And again, we knew they were going to change things in the second half. I think watching the game again, the first 10 minutes in either half set the tempo, specifically the second, and I think that's where we lost it. I don't think we took heed of the warning signs with Mane offside or those sort of opportunities there, really and truly. It would have been a different game had Odegaard scored. It might have been a different game if Martinelli picks out Laka. It might have been a different game if Lacazette shows up. It might be a different game if Ramsdale, Ben White, Cedric, and etc. don't switch off. It might have been a different game if Gabriel and Saka are not involved. It might have been a different game if if Alisson doesn't make that save with Odegaard. It might have been a different game if there was one in the first half where Alisson came off his line. Well, it might have. But the fact is, it's not. We win, lose, or draw together. I hear that, Frankie, but I don't think we can do this thing where it's as white and black as if Odegaard scored, because we didn't keep balls at the back of our net, really and truly. We win, lose, draw together, really. I don't know why it's always them. They fancy it, innit? You think Martinelli will end up going Barca or Madrid? Surely they'll be offered soon. Maybe, man. I don't know, man. Exactly. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Nothing changes. We just bounce back at Villa. That's it. You need to bounce back, man. You beat Leicester. You need to beat these. And for me, I've been saying we've been conceding cheap goals. It's only when you play Liverpool that you see maybe we need to look over shoulders. We need to follow runners. We need to stop balls at the first point. Look at, it's fantastic for Jota and Firmino. It's fantastic from them, but movement. Football's not rocket science, man. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in general to lose, but yeah, man. It's away from that. It's crazy, man. DG, was that you with the shot? I don't know, man. You get me? Listen. I'm one for the team. I let the gang have my drillings. I ain't got you get me. I ain't got to do the chatting thing, innit? I let them have that one. I don't need the fame. Unknown driller. Come on, shh. Get me? Sometimes it was if you will always lose to teams that are challenging. I mean, it would be nice if one thing I'm annoyed about is Klopp and Pep, they keep praising us. Like, if they praise man, if man are praising man, they don't see man as a threat, which we're not. Dead. Everyone always talks about the DG shot, but there's no plaudits to the guy who made this. It's shout my guy Charlie, but that's one of them where I've made it happen. Come on, man. That's them. That's the fake. That, I am gonna watch the Barca game, but that's the assist we talk about in the modern game where the attacker's done everything, man. So yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Bro, security, you can't put, it's probably peace, and I can't blame them. But at the same time, you can't put a price on your health, man. All these robberies do look like inside jobs as well. I'm not gonna cap, man. But we perform, but it's dead, man. I'm not really mad about the loss. It was just the mistakes for the goals. Other than that, those people made good accounts of themselves. They did. We've given good accounts of ourselves, but we can't keep doing this. Oh, but you take away the first 20 minutes, or this was good for 54 minutes with this. We can apply ourselves, learn from it, but fundamentally, it's a 90-minute game, man. It's a 90-minute game. One thing I do like, we did try to, arguably at some point in the game, we looked a bit comfortable. We looked like, okay, cool. We've stopped overly respecting Liverpool. We've got over the culture shock. We're having watching the game again. We're having 1-2 half chances and things, but you don't get brownie points for that, But at the end of the day, Trent might have got cooked, but I know what I do. As much as I enjoy the Martinelli stuff and whatnot, at the end of the day, professional footballers are going to get rich by other professional footballers. They're playing at a top level. And I know I would trade places with Trent. 3 points, clean sheet, doing what they're doing. Nutmeg. I know what I would rather. It's like Fred skilling up my man against Atletico. I'm sure Savic will accept that the man have gone through. Or, Cedric had a tough time against Harvey Barnes. Cedric, you had a decent game yesterday, in my opinion, and kept Diaz quiet. At least he doesn't open his account against us. He can say to Barnes, I got 3 points. Trent was getting cooked. It does look like a culture shock, but at the same time, Trent, once he was getting on the ball and they were getting further up the field, they were causing us trouble, man. I still believe in every one of those players, blood. I still believe in every one of them, but these are the fine margins. A lot of what I saw against Liverpool, I've seen all season, not necessarily playing well for moments, having greater moments than others, switching off defensively, having brain farts, which you saw with Gabriel, you see with Ben White, generally, you see with Ramsdale, I still believe in these guys, but they're where they're at. It's just about learning. The one thing I would have said, I would have obviously liked to score against Liverpool. I would have loved to have been a bit more clinical. I don't really feel our midfield. I feel Partey had a very good game. I feel Xhaka put himself about. I think the game passed Odegaard by. I don't really feel. Listen, I admire Lacazette dropping into midfield and that, but games like that, for me, it shows his limitations and why you can't draw too many conclusions. He's not the quickest, so the centre backs are going to get onto the ball. He doesn't really present an effort. For me, his movement in and around the box. You saw the difference with Jota and Firmino for their goals. There's not enough movement. So yeah, I'm not gonna, Lacazette, we're balanced with him in the team and things like that, but it just shows the limitations, really and truly. It just, for me, if we had a number 8 that could get us high, you saw what Thiago was doing, just dictating the tempo and stuff like that. And even tried to set us up. He tried. My Liverpool are so nice. I just feel it showed the limitations. I would have liked to have seen us do a bit better. Is that fans will say we had a good half, which is true, but we lost, bro. Like, it's dead, bro. That's dead. That's dead. Really dead. You've got to look at the positives. You ain't really going to beat Liverpool. It's more of an eye-opener to see where you need to get. Good thing is everyone's challenge for top 4 will almost certainly lose to them too. That's true, but at the same time, it's a game of football. It doesn't matter who you are. You should always want to win. And on top of that, I hear you, S, but more talking generally, you're always here. I've said these very same things, so I don't need no more eye-openers. What I would say is good for the general fan base. It's good potentially for the players because you don't get to delete 10 minutes and focus on the next 20 that you was good and things like that. Because for 54 minutes, I feel was in it. There was periods Liverpool looked like they was on it. There was times where they looked a bit sloppy. There was times where we looked like we might do a thing. But it's a 90-minute game. At the end of it, all that matters is you start at 0-0. Whoever wins the game. There's positives to build upon, I'm happy. I'm actually more happier in that game than the City one in the general. I know the City one, we can run behind alleged injustice and all of these things with referees, but I just feel there was, I just feel better in this game, if I'm honest with you. I just feel it was slightly more even. I know the City game, we had a fast start and things like that. It is what it is. Why for that? Why for that? I don't know about that, all them thing there, T. But yeah, man. They robbed the guy. They robbed the guy a day before his B-day. It was defo plan. That's fucked. But Yotta's cupping his hands to the Liverpool fans, so must want them to make more noise, man. I mean, Martinelli can say he sees himself at the club a long time. You know, he's in his early 20s and he's got a platform to play for Arsenal and part of something. I accept it at face value because when you're 24 and you've been capped by Brazil, you've been in the Prem a couple of times, you're going off to international duty, them men are playing Champions League and things, you've got a decision to make. Love ain't enough. Staying out, we all want it. You know, when you first start in a relationship, you can see yourself with a gal for a long time, but things change. Certain things happen. You know, you don't know what could be run. So I'll accept that at face value, man. Bro, if I'm Liverpool, who gives a fuck? Trent got beaten by a good footballer. But he had moments, you know. It's like when we played at Old Trafford, it's Tomiyasu and Sancho had a good game. It's like two truths can be true in the same realm, man. But yeah, looking at this game, people, as I was saying, let's start going through it from a tactical point of view. I would say that was the good, bad, the ugly. It shows that for me, the progress Arsenal made cannot be overstated, but to a degree, it can be overrated. And what I mean by that is do not do this thing where the last games are finished, are irrelevant. We're not of a certain level, We're not a consistent top 4 team yet. We a lot of narratives that have been drawn. We need to show we can look at Liverpool. They've been doing it for years. City have been doing it for years. We need to keep doing it. And I think one thing that Liverpool and Klopp don't get credit for, and City actually, because no one cares about defending in football. No one cares. You can't defend anymore in today's day and age. No one cares. But how they defend, how they defend. And I'm not talking about the basic defending or necessarily pressing from the front, killing momentum, winning fouls, knowing when to keep it, when to just relax a bit. These sort of things as to how you go to the next level. There's no way we can kick on with conceding this amount of cheap goals. As much as we've improved in all aspects, we concede a lot of cheap goals. And for me, it's playing stupid games, winning stupid prizes. As I said at the start, Liverpool's game is based on movement. If you send a text, someone's got to receive it. Thiago on the ball's one thing. Jota's movement, he's got in between. We saw this against Brighton when they scored with Diaz and Matip set him up. But there was good things, we kind of we pressed Liverpool well. We kind of stifled them a bit. Thiago's getting, Thiago spent a majority of the game in his own half. In the first half, we were quite evenly matched, really. We finally looked a tiny bit competitive against them. But obviously the narrative is the same thing, but it is what it is. Now, if I scroll all the way back, people, this is sorry, people. I'm trying to get my notes. I was doing it early in the morning. I think I've put it in the wrong Google sheet. What's going on here? Don't embarrass me in front of my mates. What's going on? Sorry, folks. Minor delay. Close that. Hey, where is this, man? What the hell? Sorry, folks. This is jarring, man. Small delay. I've started, so I need to find this, people. What the hell did I name it? No, there's no way I woke up early this morning to say that I'm talking about this game from a tactical point of view and not find this, people. Slight delay. What the hell did I call it? All right. I found it, people. I know some of you were doubting that guy, like he's not gonna find it. Let's change this to Arsenal v LFC. Oh, well, that's not how you spell that. And then let's bring it up on my computer. I ain't gonna lie. Internally, I was getting kind of, are we gonna find this? Like, it is what it is. But obviously, I would say, I liked our shape. We had a narrow 4-4-2. We kind of limited the space Liverpool could get in behind. Like I said, for 45/54 minutes, we were half in it. I would say the game kind of flipped on its head in the second half, specifically how the second half started. I'm reaching a bit, but I'm seeing Liverpool come out first. I'm seeing Liverpool putting themselves through the pace. And I think that kind of set the tempo that we knew Klopp was vexed. Klopp was vexed whole game, pre-game. He was vexed at halftime. He drummed it into them. I think that first 10 minutes in the second half, set the tempo really and truly, because it was coming. You know, Mane, we caught life. His goal was offside, but again, that's a typical Liverpool goal, which again we weren't following runners. So what are we doing? And the alarm bell should have been in. And I think, you know, we was caught on the transition. Obviously, Lacazette and Cole at one then versus the goal. It shows the difference. The game was won and lost in both boxes, really and truly. A doubt never. Nah, some of you had it, man. They pressed us well. And again, you heard Klopp before the game. He said a key part to beating us is stopping their the midfield men and the guys centrally getting on the ball. Any coincidence? Odegaard's not anonymous. Lacazette ain't really there. Our joy is coming from, I feel, you know, people will sit there and rewrite history over Saka. Saka's actually looking like a good outlet. The last 20, so is Martinelli. The last 25 of the first half and so on, Martinelli was the guy. Our threats are coming from wide areas. And likewise with Liverpool, really. Their front three is not really in the game. Thiago's in their half. You know, Henderson and Fabinho are changing their positions along with Matip to allow Trent to get further forward. And Trent played some lovely passes. But yeah, I saw a bit of bravery. I saw a bit of, you know, competitiveness from us. I can't really complain. I did like our shape and things like that. I did feel our threats were coming in wide areas. I do think we needed to be a bit braver. I do think away from this Liverpool game or in general, a lot of things are to go to that next level. A lot of it is a byproduct. We know on the best of days, we over rely on Gabriel and Ben White to step in and start playing passes, because we ain't really got that in the middle of our park. To go to that next level, we need to. Bro, 11 men, you know, crazy. Once Martinelli adds finishing to his overall play, he's gone clear and learns how to get his head up. You know, certain man like Tino said he can't play in wide areas and that, you know. It's brazy, man. And I'm just happy that at least when one star boy moves brazy, is what it is. Are you a fan of how Liverpool? Are you a fan of Liverpool? Of how Liverpool? I don't know what that means. I'm not a fan of Liverpool. I can admire what they're doing, but that's about it. So yeah, going through the game, I think we needed some central players coming from wide areas, and it's working. With, you know, Robertson had a very good game, man, amazing game. I have to say that. You know, again, forget his assist. I just feel Robertson, and you can go and watch my watch along again. I think he was, when Liverpool, like, they were a bit slow out the blocks, he was there, and that's why he's a fantastic player, really and truly. And it's not a name brand thing. I know playing with Trent, you're not really going to get the shine, but yeah, he done quite well against Saka, but I still think Saka and Martinelli, that's where it was coming from. As I was saying, it was working, but it becomes a one-trick one-trick pony, you know. It becomes bait. So I wanted to see a bit of play in central areas and things like that. It was a scrappy affair. There was cagey elements, you know. I do think, you know, we needed a bit more quality on the ball, with our passing needing to be a bit crisper, especially games like Liverpool where we're not going to see the majority of the ball. We are going to have to be patient. You need to look after it a lot more, a lot better. You know, I did think we were starting to gain confidence towards the end of the half, but, you know, when gaining confidence, I can get it. You know, we thought Liverpool were going to smack us. It looks like we're quite even. You can't let that confidence in any game try to make you be complacent. And I feel there was starting to become elements of that. We're getting caught on the transition and all of these things. I think we suffered a culture shock in the first 5 minutes. Literally, Liverpool come out the blocks. Ramsdale's forgotten because you could have done better for the goals, but you made a big save to deny Van Dijk from a corner. And even in that incident, there's, you know, Ramsdale had a shaky moment. If you remember, just actually before that, can't remember who from Liverpool, but the cross has come in. Ramsdale's misjudged it, and he's looked like a 23-year-old. Listen, I'm gonna get onto it, but I don't like the revision over Ramsdale. And I'm not talking about other fans and chatting shit. I'm talking about Arsenal fans specifically. You know, I don't like it because Ramsdale has shown this from day dot. But someone remind me, innit? Stay generally with the points now. At halftime, I'm sitting there and thinking it's a decent half. Off the ball, we've been good. We've been a bit better than expected. Neither side's really done enough to score. You know, again, neither team's really playing to their maximum. It's more, we're happier than Liverpool fans, obviously, because they're chasing the league and things like that. Our final ball needed to improve and stuff like that. As I said, the balls into the channel is our best bet. You could see Klopp frustrated. At half-time, bro, both teams have had 7 shots between them. Liverpool have had 3, we've had 4. They've had 1 on target, we've had none. So that kind of tells the picture. 56% to 44% possession. We probably expected it to be that way. So it is what it is. I just feel we couldn't cope with the fast started that 10 minutes in the second half from Liverpool, and that was the building blocks, people. You know, it's a lovely Thiago ball. Jota doing what Jota does, really and truly. I do think our reaction to the first goal, we crept into old habits. We started to feel a bit scared. We started to open up, and you can't do that. And I do think this was a lesson not only for game management, but maintaining your standards, especially when the game's gone. You know, when the game's gone, like we were losing 2-0, it's clearly gone. Keep your high standards and just pattern. As I said, I think it was a lesson from Liverpool how to grind out results, much like City against us. I think it was a lesson on dark arts, which you could learn from. I think it's a lesson on reacting, you know, and I do think as much as Klopp probably dug into his players and that, the players managing themselves. And I think these are the things we need to look at. Shout out to Robertson, by the way. I think that's his 50th assist or something like that. Trent had a good game Trent and Martinelli had a good game. I hate how in present football, where because a winger had a good game, it means the fullback played shit and vice versa. It's not even that. So yeah, man, I just think Liverpool smelt blood and they went for the kill and did what they needed to do. I have to say the one thing I was disappointed with is probably our final third play, but I would say the goals we conceded, because it's a bit harsh, but like I don't feel. I just feel if you're doing any analytical stuff on Liverpool, you know the game's based on movement. You can't really do them thing there, if that makes sense. So for me, it's the lessons. And big up Esh, you're a United fan. It's a bit like when we played you lot, where you had Fred's not known for it, but Bruno, Fred at the time, and Ronaldo, key players or great players. What separates his movement, you know. We're not picking up runners, and these are things that man have to learn in this thing, if I'm completely honest with you. As I said, this game showed that we've made progress, but we're also not quite there yet. We just have to keep going. And for all we find ourselves in a top 4 race and whatnot, Arsenal have not arrived yet. You're still arriving. You haven't done anything yet. We're moving in the right direction, but conclusions are being drawn. It was one of the better games. But fundamentally, it's still an L, bro. Like, if I'm looking at the last 10 games where Liverpool have handed our asses to us, you know, I'm not going to be bad. But that one there, that's a better 2-0 defeat than that one there. We lost, bro. Like, you know, it weren't as deep as a loss as it used to be. There are some positives. It's not really the big of an L as we thought, but it's dead, really. We held our shape very well in the first half. We had some half-decent passes. We made it more of an even contest. We kind of frustrated them. We made Klopp have to change his tactics, have to change a couple people's positioning, as you saw. That 9 times out of 10 don't happen when we butt Liverpool. And as much as I find that good, we need to differentiate now. Like, okay, that's good in comparison to what Arsenal needed to do. But in terms of basic competencies, DG preaching for the fullback union. Now, come on. Did Laka have a shot yesterday, brother? When you find out, I watched the game twice. I can't tell you a meaningful shot still, and we're never in it. But Laka can't really create his own thing like that. But yeah, man, the limitations around certain man, and it's been here. It's just certain fans, according to whether we win, lose, or draw. That's when it matters, really and truly. A lot of people are limited. As I said, the game showed me we have made progress, but we're also not just there yet. I feel we was compact. We pressing when it was on. We was being cute with the fouls, one at times as well. The 2 goals were the transitions, though, man. The areas it could have been stopped. You know, obviously Saka's the full guy, Ramsdale's the full guy, but there's moments where these goals can be stopped. People, you know, it can happen. You know, I do think there needs to be balance. 2 truths can be held in. You know, we played well, but fundamentally it's another loss versus a big team. It's still another goal, not against Chelsea. I'm not against Liverpool or half of these teams. I'm mentioning Chelsea because I think, did we talk about them in the champs? We did, innit? I'm just seeing my own notes. You know, as I said, Liverpool showed grinding out results. I mean, with Ruben Neves, you saw Liverpool celebrating like they won the league. Are you going to say anything? You know, they showed how to grind. They showed how to play dirty. They showed how to win when you're not playing amazing. You know, that's what we need to learn. You know, win when we're playing shit and things like that. We didn't really let Liverpool play through us. I did think they would dominate us a bit better centrally, but that's one positive I can take. But yeah, second half is where it's all won and lost, essentially, man. Again, you have to keep your high standards. The Mane offside goal has to be a warning sign, people. You know, just before the goal, there's a ball over the top for Jota that gets dealt with, but we need to calm ourselves down. And in the 47th minute, there's again a ball over the top from Trent that I think eventually Cedric and Ben White dealt with. But the warning signs, do you get it? You know. I just feel after the restart as well, we was going long again. And obviously, Klopp has sat them down and said, listen, they're not doing much. The ball's into the channels again. Robertson's doing well, Trent as well. But it's just that And I think from the start, we was doing that, and we're tiring Saka and co out as it's working. And if the manager's telling you to do it, do it. But at the same time, you need a bit more variety. You need to be a bit more cuter with it, people. If I'm completely honest with you, you know, it is what it is, people. So yeah, on that, let me draw for my tactics board clearly, man. Your analysis covering everything. You have to, bro. Like, listen, I don't come here and waffle respectfully, or if I do waffle, it's things I believe. Now, obviously, this isn't to scale people, but this is what I mean. Now, in real time, there was obviously more Arsenal players in the box, but this is what I mean about clearing your lines properly. Tabs police, allow me. This is all for you lot. Now, if you lot remember, Gabriel, again, we in real time, we've stopped, it's static in it. But Gabriel could have put his foot through it. He doesn't. It's kept alive by Liverpool. There's a melee in the box where several nonchalance harsh, but he's tried to clear it. It's not banged. Credit to Robertson for that one. Low-key Liverpool's man of the match. Probably won't get any limelight per se like that. Now, that's a problem from Saka. Saka has to hold his L for that. But again, you can't just blame one man, in my opinion, because you can see the sequences of play which is leading to it. This is the second goal, by the way. We've not cleared our lines. If I remember correctly, let me put Cedric here. No, let's move these up. Again, if you play Sunday League football, you need to clear and defend properly, but you need to push up. This tells me we're still a young team. We're still naive because no one's organizing. Cedric stepped out. Cedric's actually done the right thing as a fullback. Cedric's done the right thing. Step out. They're offside if the cross comes in. Step up. He stepped up on his J's. Other man are ball watching, not doing the right thing. The best footballers in the world have elite movement 9 times out of 10. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Firmino made an elite run. The ball's come into the box. You've seen him too late. Ramsdale should do a lot better. I'm less on Ramsdale for this goal because I think for me there were several phases of play. Should do better. We don't. This is how they scored their second. Their first, sorry, if we just go back temporarily, like I said, we was pressing them well. Their front three, not to scale again. They're not really in the game per se. Now, Liverpool tried to change things. As you know, they've gone with a midfield of Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago. Now, right? Cool. If you remember, in real time, you know, we're compact, we're narrow and things like that. They've said to Trent, go and get further forward at occasions. Henderson has been surveilling that position just to look after Trent going forward. Matip actually got further away from Van Dijk, again, not to scale, so they can keep Trent further up and start to do things. Fabinho, obviously, just making sure he's in that area. But for large parts of the game, you know, Thiago, Liverpool are not really doing much on the ball. We're forcing them back. They're not really doing what they're doing in the middle, people. And Thiago's having to go backwards, which is great because if you can see Thiago in his own half, you're doing all right. But this is where Liverpool went up a level. If you remember the build up to the goal, yeah, Thiago's played a couple of passes back. He gets it back from Van Dijk. One of the first times of memory I can remember him getting his head up and looking. We're in trouble now. Like I said, he's in a half now. We're in trouble. Remember what I said about if you send the text, there needs to be a receiver, right? Off the ball, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Again, you need to know where your runners is. They did this against Brighton. It was 2 different players. It was Matip passing, you know, it was Matip passing the ball for Thingy. What's his face, man? Diaz against Brighton. That weren't to be, you know. That weren't to be. It is what it is. And this is what I mean. For the second, Ramsdale, there's too much problems before that. I did think Ramsdale's beaten too easily there. And again, Ramsdale's not going to be the finished article at his age. He's not. He's come to Arsenal where, let's be real, everything's on the floor. Tommy actually didn't have to do much to get rated as a right back, take nothing away from him because he actually a competent keeper. You know, he's actually talks and I still back him. But we know there's been a couple of goals he could have done better. Go back to what goal was it against Watford? You know, man are even saying he could have done better for the cross where Chucho was scored, which maybe he could have. I think that's harsh. He defo, again, sequence of play, not just to blame him, but I swear there was one, he kind of jumped over the ball against Watford. We know sometimes not, you know, getting beaten at your near post, not getting a strong enough hand to things, positioning in the last few weeks before this, his distribution's elite, but Buki distribution, these are things. Ramsdale is not the finished article. He's a 23-year-old keeper. He's still my guy. Still think you're a solid signing, gonna be a solid signing, should be first choice for England. But isolated to this game or just in general, none of these guys are the finished products, bro. I love Gabriel. He's got a mistake in him and it's highlighted against these teams. I love Saka, but I've said he needs to improve defensively. I love the back 5 unit. you know, with excluding Tomiyasu, he's not there. But we're improved defensive side. We're not a good defensive side because football's a defending like football's a thinkers man game. We didn't think in these aspects, you know. We can't match Liverpool for quality. They're a golfing class. What we can match them for is decision making, being a bit street smart. As I said, if they send a text, you got to receive it. Thiago's been able to get up and find a pass. It's been a run. The run's been made. You know, the run's been made. This time it's Jota who's had a quiet game. He sprung the offside trap. He's in it. Ramsdale, obviously disappointing for me to see you beating at that near post, but this is the age he's in. He's in, man. I'm even struggling. I'm even struggling to see what Saka did for the second goal. He did all he could to clear it. It's just the ricochet fell kindly. That's what you've kind of answered your question. He didn't clear it properly. You know, Gabriel Saka should have cleared it better. The melee in the box should have cleared it better. You've answered it really. Either Saka has to win a foul there or make sure you clear it. You know, that's what you've answered your own question respectfully. But yeah, they're in. As I said, that's the one disappointment for me because you need to follow runners in any walk of life. And the last couple of times, I go back to a couple of years ago where Milner either scored or set up one. We've known how this script goes for years. So yeah, man, I would say some positives. Partey played very well, in my opinion. Obviously, Gabriel up against Trent Alexander-Arnold. At least we leave with something. We were a bit more, still lost, but was a bit more competitive. It was a bit more admirable. You can see what we're trying to do. We still need to go to the next level. You can still see some limitations collectively, individually, in the defensive transition remaining switched on. Don't really have much in games like this in an attacking half because we ain't really got the players for that. The midfield, if we had a number 8 like Thiago or someone that could do that, we might be able to do a thing, but is what it is. I feel a positive could be Cedric. You kept Diaz up. Partey played well. Martinelli played well. You know, you can games like this, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't paper over cracks. Whether you win, lose, or draw, you have to earn that right. So it is what it is. I don't think it's all doom and gloom, but yeah, it's just a we can talk about how he was in it for 54 minutes and all these things, but football's a 90-minute game. Remain focused, really. Obviously, it's a different game if we take half the literal half chances we had, and that's the difference. Liverpool created half chances. Liverpool can create a half chance and fundamentally take it. And I feel that's the difference, people. Goals change games. Goals change the trajectory whenever, people. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. As I said, it was very admirable seeing the slight tactical change and whatnot. As you could see with Liverpool on the best of days, like most teams do against Arsenal, they stifle us trying to play through the middle. You could see it. The Liverpool press, mainly in the first half, piranha, you know, piranhas and that, you know, very narrow, very compact and whatnot. It was piranhas essentially, people, just hella piranhas up against us, sort of thing. And as you know, obviously at times we had to play, but primarily we're going, all right, you know what? Both teams were really doing it in wide areas. But you said, all right, you know what? Saka, there you go. You go up against Robertson. Sometimes he was beating Robertson. 9 times out of 10, Robertson was holding it up. And more so, we're getting change out of Martinelli. Head up and that. But it is what it is, man. There were several things we could have done better. Why did that happen? Sorry, folks. So there's that. Again, looking at some statistics, unfortunately, Arsenal have never kept a Premier League clean sheet against Liverpool since Klopp took charge, which is crazy. So good, I had to show you it twice. There's no place like away from home. Fuck it, oh man, you know, Shaq was doing us dirty there, innit? But true, what a player you are, man, Jota. You know, Roberto Firmino, he's probably going to be mentioned in folklore with Liverpool anyways, but he's now got 9 goals. He scored more against us than Watford. He loves to bully us London Coley guys, man. Obviously, for the first time in Liverpool's history, Liverpool have won 3 consecutive away games at Arsenal, and they haven't even conceded a goal. We've won the league at their ground, though. I got nothing, people. I've got nothing. We've got nothing. Like, we've had better than us, man. The longest winning runs in the top 5 European leagues. Look at City and Liverpool. Brazy. The margins for errors is brazy. Obviously, we're leaving with something. You know, Martinelli's game by numbers, 100% take on success, 6 touches in the ox box. You know, Trent's winning a tackle and they're fist pumping against him. I'm loving it. We're leaving with something. 6 times he won possession, 4 passes in the opposition box, 3 take-ons completed, 4 duels, 1, 2 crosses, 2 clearances, 1 shot created, 1 chance created, 1 shot. Klopp loves him. Just stay away. Thiago had a lit game. Thiago's game by numbers, he made the most interceptions. Well, And he even was nice enough to try and assist us as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold, to call him a world-class player is an understatement. You know, Trent has now Bruno. And you look at it, you know, the most points won in the Premier League since the start of 2018-19. Liverpool have 334, City have 335. Bracy. Absolutely brazy stuff. Three teams have had three players with 10 assists in the Premier League season. Liverpool have done it 3 times. Arsenal have done it once. City have done it. And, you know, Liverpool stand on course to probably do that again, if I'm honest. Show up that one again. So yeah, man, it is what it is, man. Credit to Liverpool. They showed, you know, what we aspire to be, really. When you look at Jurgen Klopp, what did he say? On whether he saw it as a game of 2 halves. Yes, we had a better start in the game, obviously directly with corners, 2 or 3 corners we had in a row, and then we made a few mistakes. So both teams obviously had possession spells, but in our possession spells, we didn't really create because we didn't have enough bodies between the lines. We played a bit too much around the formation then, trying to find the gaps to pass the ball through. On the other side, when Arsenal had the ball, then we didn't defend enough front-footed. And I did say that. I didn't think the press was as good as Liverpool could do it. Like in Salah, I guess. We knew with the way they do it in open play situations, it means you have to be patient until a specific moment. Then you have to be there. And when Diego goes, we have to follow. Actually, the lines in general were too deep. It was like you said, but I was quite happy when first half was over because then we could adjust a little at half time. As I said, things change. But we needed maybe still a wake-up call or an alarm bell from Thiago, increasing the excitement level a lot. Ali could save us in that moment. And from there, we did a lot of things better. The first goal was a good example. I think it was Thiago stepping in with the ball, changing the direction in the right way, passing the ball through. And all of a sudden, there was a gap. I don't think in the first half we had one of these moments. We had all these balls given them to the striker, foot on the ball, defending in the back, and these kind of things. So we needed to move more in the front line, and what we did. And there, Diego then obviously finishes off brilliant. Again, he did plan to take off Jota before the goal obviously went in. He bigged up his attacking options as well, people. Again, that's for Liverpool fans to look at, you know, on the recent schedule. And I think it's very, you know, Arteta was talking about our fixture calendar. If you wish to be Liverpool and these clubs, I know Pep and Klopp always moan about the fixture calendar list and how the games are, but you've got to get on with it. You know, we didn't really care about it when we played Liverpool, when we played City. We had 2 games that week, or Leicester the other day. So we can't really complain. And if we wish to get into this territory, we're going to have to get with it, really and truly. I think we had 6 more games than Arsenal. You can see that as well. We constantly travel. We go here, we go there. We're in a hotel and stuff like this. Since we met last time, we had 6 more than them, I think. Hey, Klopp, man, we'd love to have the same. We weren't in Europe. And 7, if I'm right. 13 games is really mad, and it will not stop. Actually, I don't complain. We don't complain. It's just how it is. We wake up in a different hotel, and someone tells you where the restaurant is, and you try to remember the number of your room. That's our moment. That's our life in the moment. That's why I'm so happy today. Obviously, because coming here to Arsenal in that moment against this team, winning 2-0, that's really special, really, really special. He's spoken about momentum. He's spoken about whether he wanted to change. You know, he said he was pleased with the second goal. He said Robbo really rated and didn't take the opportunity. He got the ball, stepped into the box, and then was waiting for movement. In the box. And then he found Bobby. I think there were 2 or 3 players in a proper position, but Bobby got the goal. That's the shambles of my position on the side. I only saw it once, and I didn't even see who scored. But I saw the yellow card for Bobby, and I thought he probably would have not taken his shirt off. If Hendo had scored, I'd watch it back. What did I say slightly before this? Movement. So, yeah, shout out to Klopp, but I just wanted to see some of that, people. Robertson spoke about the spirit. Robertson himself said, I think we just played a little better, to be honest. We started the game really well. First 5 or 10 minutes, couple of corners and a couple of chances. Then we had the better of the first half, the majority of it. Then we're keeping possession better. They were winning second balls a wee bit better than us. But we knew we were in at halftime 0-0. We knew we could play better. We knew we had to find the half spaces a bit better, tweak a couple of things. And that showed Liverpool's quality, Klopp's quality, but it also shows you how moments in games. So we can waffle about 54 minutes being well, but I'd say the first 10 minutes, in the first half, and definitely in terms of where the game went against us. The first 10 minutes in that second half set the tempo. As I said, we weren't picking up runners. I don't think we learned the lesson from Mane scoring and it was offside. And I think in the first half, actually, I could be wrong, but there's a ball that's over the top for Mane, and Mane's touch is a bit dead. I think Gabriel's put him off. Warning signs are there. And Liverpool are a great team. Liverpool have earned the right to be one of the worst kept secrets in world football, in a sense of, like City, you know what they're about. They can afford to play their game more time. They did tweak things. Just to know they had to tweak things kind of gasses me a bit. But, you know, playing well for 54 minutes, it not being a bigger L as it's supposed to be is dead, man. Our record against Klopp is shit, bro. The future is definitely bright for Arsenal. Like I said, trust in Arteta. I trust as far as I can see, man. I'm enjoying the way you do these debriefs with visual tools, man. Big up, DG. I try, man. I try. Big up yourself, Yoni. My morning's been good, man. My morning's been good. Neither team played well enough to say they deserved it. Liverpool scored the goals. You know, I wouldn't say you get what you deserve in life. More time, you know. Necessarily, you could say you feel hard done by, he didn't, whatever, but they tweaked things. You could say in life, when you go into something, you have to tweak things. Sometimes it doesn't work. So they tweaked it, it worked. Their players showed their quality. I'm sure Liverpool fans got a bag of highlights this season, waffling about bigger things, but you need to grind out results. As I said in my live stream, Liverpool are used to this. Teams want to play well against you. Teams want to give a good account of themselves and things like that. So I wouldn't quite say Liverpool, neither team deserved to get something. I know what you mean in that it was, you know, Arteta, Klopp, they definitely would like cleaner performances and more healthier, but it is what it is. They fashioned the goals. They scored their half chances. They deserved it. Like, it's not always a pretty thing, you know. And I wouldn't say it's just the 2 moments. The 10 minutes of that second half changed that tie, really, man. Fair play to Liverpool, did what they're doing, really, you know. He said, yeah, then they had the better of the first half. The majority of it, they were keeping the possession better. They were winning second balls a wee bit better than us. We knew we could play better. We knew we just had to find the half spaces a bit better, tweak a couple of things. And luckily it worked. Second half, we were a lot more dominant. We were the ones pushing, and luckily we were clinical in front of goal. Exactly. Shout out to Robertson, man. You know, the Scots are quite honest. Oh, yeah, of course, it's always good to contribute and assist goals. I got my head up and saw Bobby run ahead. Movement again. And I think it was a wee bit more of a defensive performance tonight. Me and Trent, Martinelli and Saka are really hard work, tricky wingers, always wanting the ball in behind, always looking to take you on 1v1. And I actually feel Saka did all right. But again, as a fullback, Robertson for me was Liverpool's man of the match, even in the first half, because he was the one. You can go and check my live stream. I said he's on it. They're not really on it. Trent had a good game, as did Martinelli. I thought Trent was outstanding against Martinelli, bro. He kept a clean sheet. It's never easy against Saka, so I was happy to keep him quiet in this game. Fair play. And Saka, that's where you got to go to. Clean sheet and obviously to assist Bobby. Bobby deserves his goal. I thought he was outstanding when he came. Oh, fair play, man. You know, and that's them. Where's Arsenal now, people? Shout out to you lot for tuning in. We know we've got rescheduled games. That's a bit irrelevant. Let's look at what's been said. Well, Arteta on can't keep going. We was even. It just in the boxes for both teams. That's true. But this is football. It's the fine margins. You know how many? If you go and look at Liverpool's run to winning the champs in the Prem, there was margins where the games could have went for and against them. You know, Chelsea the same, City the same, us many moons ago the same. Life is about fine margins. Literally, you know. Literally, from the moment we're born, literally, life is about fine margins. You know, this is the and with Liverpool, you need to look at this. But these are things that have been in our games. It's just when we win, we shut up about the positives. I mean, about the negatives or things that could be better. Not that there's anything necessarily beyond the obvious to be negative. We know we barely barely created. We know we lack that ruthless streak. We know we lack a lot of street smartness, as highlighted against one of the best teams in Europe / the league. And as much as we miss chances, and again, against a superior side, you've got to take them. Oh, how many did we really create? Liverpool took their half chances. We didn't. But what did we really create? Alisson didn't have much to do. You know, let's be honest. Odegaard's finished with shit anyways. Like, it's a big save from Alisson, but he's bottled it, really. Let's be real. On whether our missed chances decided the game, nah, I don't think so. Obviously, if we score, it's a different game. And that's true. But if you can't score, keep out the back of your net. I think what changed the game is not following runners. You know, we're starting to get tired in the second half. They're starting to increase their intensity. That's for me where it's gone. The performance of the team, I do, because we switched off for 2 of them goals, so they scored 2. But from box to box, I think in many moments we were the better team and we did everything we planned. But there's even been wins where that could be said. You could argue Watford, Leicester, Wolves, they could say the exact same paragraph that's been said there. You know, I think in many moments we were the better team. We was the better team in some moments, and Liverpool was the same. But I'd rather trade places with Liverpool. You don't get points for playing well. You get points for winning. You know, if you play like that 38 times a season, you know, you might get applauded, but you get relegated because you lost. You know, really and truly, we played better against City than I feel Spurs did in their last 2 games against them. They got 6 points of City. Like, we got analysis, so I don't know how far it goes. The way the boys performed showed their courage to standing of the game. They really raised the level today, but unfortunately these games are won in boxes, and that was the critical difference today, to not get anything out of this game. Unfortunately, I agree with what you're saying. It's actually nice to be in the Liverpool box. Pause. And whether that clinical edge showed the difference between us and Liverpool, it was the difference today. I don't think there was any difference apart from that. They followed runners, we didn't. I think we have closed that gap a lot. We can talk about closing gaps when we've actually got wins on the board. Of course, it was a more better performance across not just Liverpool but City, but we need to correlate that to winning now and actually going into games thinking we can get something out of this. So I see what you're saying. At face value, I agree with it, but it only extends so far because we didn't win. We didn't score. 2 things that we ain't done for a minute against these men in the league. But it wasn't enough today, because when we went through the door and they went through that door, they scored 2 goals. I'm not happy with the goals that we conceded, but it's part of the game. And when you have those chances, you have to take them. On Ramsdale looking frustrated to concede the opening goal. Of course he will be frustrated, but this is part of the game. So every time he saves us and every time he's been phenomenal. And today he had some really good moments that helped us to do what we wanted to do in this game against Liverpool. Unfortunately, we conceded 2 goals, which are probably not at our level. And it's true because we've been improving defensively. But once again, you look at the 2 against Watford. You look at the 1 against Wolves. You look at the 2 today. We can go further and further. Cheap goals are a theme of ours, as much as we've improved to our own standards defensively. But yeah, man, it is where it is. On the mood inside the dressing room, they were down because they know how well we played, and now we've lost 2 games against City and Liverpool. When you are there toe-to-toe, you deserve much more than we got from the result. I hear you, but I disagree because we switched off. I'm sorry, but I've been waffling all week about movement. Like, as much as we did well, you know, it's like a test. You could revise a test. You could revise very well, and you might not get what you deserve. But again, you have to ask yourselves, was you revising the right subjects to go into that exam? Again, we need to be careful. There was good moments. There was moments to be desired. But the reality is that we didn't. So in the box against City, it was all about the discipline because we got sent off. But those boxes make the difference against the top teams. Amen. If you're able to take the game all the way to the level, which is already very difficult, still there are details and margins that they're going to manage and try. And today they certainly did that in that period when we were most likely to score the first goal. And if he has to pick up the players from a defeat, yes, because every time after defeat, they're hurting. And we didn't want to stop the good run we're in. But we said it's not going to be like this until the end of the season. Now it's about how react. Bro, you lot, puff out your chest, hold it up. We lost. It is what it is. There's no, you learn in defeat. It's a reality check. It's a reminder that life isn't Disney Channel. You're in a fight for everyone that wants to get fourth. We knew we weren't going to win every game. So it started reaction against Villa. Don't feel sorry for yourselves. Pick up yourselves, man. What's all of that? No one's head should be on the floor because nobody played shit. Like, where I think you don't have pride in the shirt and that. Sit up and stand up to be counted. We go again. Learn your lessons. Learn your lessons. On Martinelli's performance, I'm very pleased with how the team has performed again and how far they've taken the game, because I understand, because I've been there and know how difficult it is to play against this incredible team because they dominate every aspect of the game. And how we've done it, how they've exposed them, how we created the issues we created, how we dominated, the courage that we showed to play with the ball is not easy at all, believe me. Amen. On our tight schedule, thank you so much to the Premier League to do that. They've done it again, and we have to play Chelsea United. So if they want to give them any advantage, I say to them, thank you so much for doing that. We all know it's TV laws. They're capitalizing on this top 4 race. We've been dealt a short hand. But what I would say is, generally, I don't think it's right. Klopp and Pep moan about it all the time. We looked at Klopp's comments, but you get on with it. This is the territory. You know, we benefited when we played City with it. Klopp kind of alluded to it earlier. Leicester played 2 games last week. That's going to be us next season by God's grace. We need to get on with it. You know, we need a 25-man squad. I know this season we're in one competition. It's not really that deep, but there's no excuses. I know I'm not happy with it. No one would be. But you're going to have to stand up to be counted. Simple as that, you know. On if the players will be fit for Saturday, yes, 100%. Don't worry, the players will be there on Saturday with the energy. They will sleep, eat well. But thank you so much to the Premier League for putting a fixture like this. It's very, very helpful. Arteta is mad. On if we've raised this to the Premier League, yes, absolutely, because it's not fair what they've done. Life isn't fair, bro, but we have to get on with it. It's always Sky or BT, this or that. But the only one that is affected is Arsenal. And the only one that I care about and what we care about is Arsenal. And for Arsenal, it's not fair. It isn't fair, but we take TV rights money, you know. That we know they just care about TV rights. We have to get on with it. You know, we have to get on with it. There's no, it is what it is. Get on with it. We need to stay positive. You know, big up Cedric because you had a decent performance. Nothing to cry about, but you get me? Like, you can leave with no shame. You never got ripped. The goal come from your side, but you never got ripped. You didn't get torn a new one. There's no highlights reel of you getting bamboozled and that. There was one incident where you look feeble, but he said, in the end, in football, you need to look at the results. Cedric's my guy, you know, just from that sentence. I love it. Most of the game we controlled, and even after the first goal, we tried to react. We tried to go and try something, and we conceded another one. A little bit unfortunate. This is football, and we need to stay positive, to believe in what we do. We need to put our head straight for Aston Villa. I need a reaction, because Cedric, I don't forgive you for Aston Villa in the FA Cup a couple of years ago. Still, reaction. Of course, we are disappointed. We didn't want this result, but on the other hand, we are very, very proud of the team. What the team is building, what the team is creating between each other and together with the staff is fantastic. True. It's very, very important that we stay positive, that we have a good reaction on Saturday. We need to focus on our recovery. It's 2 days basically, then we play again. So we need to be straight on it, and it's a very, very important game for us. I'm sure the team will stay positive and give a good answer. Amen. Big up Cedric for that one, man. Shout out Cedric. I might have to say, I'm starting to like you now, Cedric, you know. I'm starting to fuck with you, man. Starting to fuck with you for that one. Fullback union, you know, it doesn't take much for me to side with these sort of players there, but yeah, you get where I'm at with that. But yeah, it is what it is in that regards, people. Shout out to everybody tuned in. Without you lot, this is dead, folks. So yeah, man, big up yourselves each and every time. But that was a long one. So I think with that we can start closing some tabs and start looking normal again. Start closing up that. Sorry, people, I wasn't with you. Don't forget, we go live at 11:30 on YouTube. Big up everyone tuned in. I see someone big up the Wrongers merchandise. Go follow up Wrongers. Come on, you know, good look sold separately, and that you can't look as wavy in this thing, yeah. But you get me that. I'm feeling myself still, though. Like I said, therefore sexiest football YouTuber, 100%. Nah, there's no contest, but one can't chat to my thing. Hey, you go mad. But yeah, man. There's slowly building at Arsenal. Stick with Arteta. You can see what he's trying to do. Something is building there. They got to back him. Klopp was backed, so man have to start backing. Do you think Arsenal will 2 more times and have 10 losses in the Premier League? Lose 2 more times? Anything can happen. There's big games to play. There's no games I can look at and say, yo, you're gonna get it there, you're gonna get it there, you're gonna get it there, or whatnot. So man have to stand up to be counted, man. 1 win versus 6 losses against the big 6 needs to improve if we want top 4. Amen. Feels like a cold striker is the final piece. Midfield, man. I would like Arsenal at worst to be a functional unit where you could look at and say, okay, striker, you need to pattern something. We don't have a supply line, bro. Stifled. In the FA Cup run, Arteta deployed 3 at the back against these bigger teams and it worked. Arteta tried to play our system on the game rather than how can we get a result. But saying that, arguably, you know, I hear you, you're right. But I think the players fucked it. You know, it's not. I feel Arteta's game plan worked. The players fucked it. You know, the players are not the players thingy. The players are switching off. At the same time, you could argue when you play against, with the exception of Spurs, who again can't break down low blocks and capitalized on City being expansive, you could say in the Premier League the best time to have an opportunity is to move to people. When West Ham gave Liverpool problems, it's because they had a goal. Brighton obviously lost, but they had a goal. I think long gone are the days of kind of just sitting back and soaking up pressure, and at times we'll crumble. If we do that for 80 minutes, 90 minutes, that stuff gets tiring and people just switched off same way. I hear you. And at the same time, we've got a young and naive squad. We've been playing this formation for a while now. If we switched to a back three suddenly, we would have sat there and said, what's going on? I don't really think it's a systematic thing. I think it worked. Klopp had to change his very system. Like, it worked. I feel that obviously you could say it didn't work because we didn't get nothing from the game. And that's a way of looking at it. But the players fucked it. Klopp, you heard, we just went through the comments. Klopp saying, I had to change things at half time. Robertson said we had to tweak things. Jota scored at the right time or the wrong time because he still got subbed. But same way, things were happening. So it's more the players fucking it up, in my opinion, there. And that's the fundamentally of it. Played Liverpool 4 times, scored no goals. Meaty, man. Dust ourselves down and go again. I don't want to go on another losing streak when we last lost to Liverpool. You have to go again, man. What? Told you Tomiyasu might need to get on the grind to get that post back from Cedric, and you laughed it off, DG. Cedric low-key been among our best players since he came back to the scene. Credit where it's due, I still laugh it off. The minute Tomiyasu is fully fit, Cedric come out the team, bro. How you mean? You think this is Disney Channel? Big up Cedric and his team. Fuck off. I'm still laughing about that. Get the fuck out of here. The minute Tomiyasu is fit, proper fit, come out the team, bro. Like that's that Pablo Marie Gabriel logic. That's that Tavares Bettentini logic. Respectfully, I'm laughing it off. Big up Cedric and what he's doing. It needs to be a depth thing. You need to be able to come into the team and do a thing. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm not rewriting history. Big up Cedric, but we're bordering on 50 games for Arsenal. You've been good in the last 5. Tomiyasu comes back, you shouldn't be fighting, man. On merit, Cedric should be able to hold on to his place, and it should be quite harsh, as you've seen when Ainsley's lost his place and maybe a couple of others, and even Smith Rowe. But fuck that. The minute Tomiyasu's fit, you're back in, especially with this running, and we'll see. We'll see, man. The minute Tomiyasu is deemed proper fit, crazy, man. Babyface killer, I don't need that shit, man. Gally love it. Smooth skin, you get me? You can do what you want when you're popping. You get me? You ever seen the galley that you're dealing with talk about 6 foot and beards on Twitter and you're joking it? You get me? We're different. Coming like Thierry Henry and shit. Crazy. Oh, fuck out here, man. Fuck out here, man. Cedric doing his thing. Fuck out here, bro. Like, come on. What is? Like, big up Cedric, man. But allow it, bro. Bring up yourself, H. Yeah, it's a sunny Thursday, but it is where it is. We go again, man. It is where it is. You have to hold our licks. Bro, Cedric's done his thing. Bro, first game where someone didn't fancy your thing. And I'm here to gas it. He kept Diaz quiet. There was no bullshit from him yesterday. But come on now, man. Fuck out of here, that bullshit, man. So this about. Come on, mate. Pulling my leg. Pause, man. I don't do that. But obviously, away from all of that, people, in terms of footy talk, we spoke about Pogba's house unfortunately being robbed. Obviously, Rashford. Now, I feel sorry for Rashford. Obviously, you wanted to be a footballer. This is what comes with it. But man, forget, man, a human, when you're playing like he stays in his house. His man, them are probably shouting him. He goes down the road, everybody talking about him. He's being scrutinized rightly or wrongly. I understand that. It can get to a man, like, you're human. And I don't like how fans think just because they pay or whatever. Listen, constructive criticism, you can do what you want, but it don't mean you can act any sort of way, talk to a man any sort of way and whatnot. If you're getting Rashford from our side, same way. Where's the sound in that? Pardon me, don't look like there's any sound in this thing, but allegedly this is what is all the noise made, man. So let the man breathe, man. You think man want to play shit on purpose? You think man don't want to improve? Allow it, man. It's brazy, man. You actually like man want to play shit, bro. Like it's man are too brazen. And the thing is why I see this is what I call the pussy old thing, because these lot will ask a man for a picture. If they, and on your ones, you wouldn't act. You wouldn't do the acting on the camera thing. You're doing it to guys for no reason. Like, get onto his football. And what I would say to Rashford and all these youths out there, you know, remember these clubs, these fans, they don't like you. They like what you do. They don't like you. They don't like you. Rashford, you saw when you missed your penalty. You've seen what it's like. And it's not a Man United thing. They don't like you, bro. They don't never think these men like you. Even at Arsenal, half of these players, the minute, bro, Aubameyang was doing the madness, the minute he looked shaky, rightly or wrongly, oh, he's lost it, he's down tools, he's done this, he's done that, bro. They don't like you. They're loyal to Man United. They're loyal to Arsenal. They're loyal to whatever club they support. And even that, they don't like you. They like what you can do. You know, man, are not that same Don was probably calling you better than Mbappe. Bro, it's not even having enough. Just have to leave man alone, bro. Like, he's still human. Like, man, are not playing shit. Obviously, it's frustrating, but come on. Man, are not playing shit for no reason. He gave him the time of day. That was his first mistake, 100%. But everyone's got a breaking point, man. And he just can't, like, you ignore. It's like me. I ignore so much trolling, so much nonsense. But the one time I react, I'm the bad guy. You're human. Like, he apologized, Rashford, for where it is, for what it's worth as well, man. You know, he said, I did not gesture with my middle finger. I used my forefinger to direct the fan to come over and say it to my face. Yes, Mosaida. A video can paint 1,000 words, and in this case, the inaccurate info being shared on social media. Guys, for weeks I've been heckled, threatened, questioned, and last night my emotion got the better of me. And it's true, you're human. And it's that when man are calling you a rat, you're a mole, you're leaking things, you're doing this, you're stealing a living. Oh, boy, it comes with the territory, you know. But it has to happen. Reading and hearing that stuff about yourself every day, it wears you down. No one is more critical of my performance than me. But what you see in this video lacks context. I'd been heckled from the minute I stepped outside the ground, abused, not just aimed at my football. People are looking for a reaction from me. Rashford, you gave them that. Phones were at the ready. You know this, but you still did it. Of course, I should have walked straight past and ignored two things. The first being what I said to the man throwing abuse at me, which come over and say it to my face. A fact the security guard can back up. Rashford, you might be doing that. You know when someone wants people to hold them back so they look more active. Rashford, you might have been doing that, but I don't doubt that. I did not gesture with my middle finger. I'm not entitled. This isn't my ego. I'm upset. I'm disappointed. And in that moment, it was silly, but I was being human. Fair play. Fair play, bro. What can I bad say anything more? He's allowed to react to bullshit, man. Fuck them, man. Big up Rashford, man. Obviously, anyone that's been moving brazy. I didn't see what Uncle Ian said, but I know he said some sensible stuff. Fans need to get over themselves. It's like at Arsenal. Man are telling man to fuck off. In Xhaka say, well, you fuck off. He swore at the fans. But you were swearing, bro. It doesn't give you entitlement, man. The way I see these footballers is how, man, I see snooty people act to dons in retail, act like they owe you something, or act like someone in a restaurant owes you something. It's like they're not just there at your beck and call. You're not better than man. He's a footballer. He deserves criticism and all these things, but you need to treat man with respect, respectfully. You can't take it, don't give it. Fans act as if footballers aren't human beings because they earn millions kicking ball. Ask them again, bro. You can't be upset because you get millions of quid. Money don't buy happiness. You know, the same people that say that will then look at, you know, stockbrokers and people working in Central and look at suicide rates. It's crazy, man. And again, for me, if you would have the same energy on your J's and to him alone, fair play. I rate that. If you won't, and you know you won't, don't be doing that to people. That's the problem with this social media thing and the net and people being in the public eye. People act a certain way and do things without repercussion. Forgive me, but I genuinely think a lot of people haven't been punched in their face in life. You know, there's a humbleness in getting a bang in your face and knowing that if I say something, there's repercussions, or I need to be able to back my chat. Crazy. It's like when I use the term SYM, sorry. Now, where I'm from, you said it to the wrong person. That's World War III, ironically. You know, that can be things. You need to know what comes with it. So every time that's ever left my mouth, sorry, I'm ready for certain things. A lot of people are not ready for things. Oh, this is what I'm saying, bro. It's crazy. We saying DG breaking the game down at 11:30. We slide done it already, you know. Like, big up the Twitch gang. We shagged them. We slide done it already. So I guess we're just going to be waffling about something. But love for that. On that note, don't forget, people. We're going live on YouTube at 11:30. It's got to be done. We've got to keep that alive. We've got to push towards 50,000 people. Arsenal been linked with Dembele of Lyon as well. Just humble yourself, man. You think the players aren't vexed? As much, even at my club, you think the players aren't vexed? You think man want to play shit on purpose? Like, it's brazy, man. It's very, very brazy. Very brazy in this life, man. Very brazy. But what are you going to do, eh? You know, again, I don't know if anybody's seen, but Kurt Zouma's been charged by the RSPCA, him and his brother, for the cat thing. I'll be real. Listen, I don't advocate cruelty for animals and that, but I think we've all seen what happened to that unfortunate young little black girl with the police, and, you know, all because they allegedly smoked cannabis, you know, didn't, or something like that, didn't notify her parents, strip searched her when she was on her period, humiliated her. If they'll do that to a little girl, what would they do to other people? If they ain't got morals for a little girl, it's problems. And we already know in this day and age, black women are just seen, they're not allowed to be given a childhood. They're seen as masculine at times. They're seen as older than they are. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth. When I start seeing reactions over that, man are calling. When I hear man start calling for people to lose their roles over that, asking for police officers to lose their role, then I might give a fuck about this. Pardon my French. You know, as I said, I don't advocate animals and whatnot. It's crazy, man. But for what it's worth, with Zouma, the RSPCA says it has started a prosecution proceeding against Zouma and his brother Johan for their roles in filming Kurt kicking a cat. Apparently, West Ham are aware of the RSPCA statement. Following a full and thorough investigation, we have started the process of bringing a prosecution against Kurt Zouma and his brother under the Animal Welfare Act. So they probably get fined, have to attend some serious classes aimed at behaving themselves and move forward, people. It is what it is in that regards, people. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Arsenal fans, we still sit fourth, a point behind in front of United, with 2 games. So it's crazy. You're on Ransom Batista show. Do you know what? I have to be, you know. And I say I have to. Well, I was about to show you my schedule for today, but that's all hot, man. You'll obviously personal details. I have to fit it in, man. Do it for the guys, but it's a push. And yeah, in general, people, don't forget 10 a.m., 11:30. Europa League watch-alongs later today as well. That's going to be on Twitch. Make sure you're all here, man. But yeah, man, it don't look like there's anything else to say, really. Apparently, Chicago Cubs owner and consortium featuring Lord Cole intend to bid for Chelsea. So a new day, a new thing, man. There's nothing to firm, bro. The game's the game. I got shit to do. How do you think? Bro, Arsenal lost. I don't give a fuck about that. How long did I sit there and whatnot? You know, I don't give a fuck about that. I got personal things to do. I've got emails to send to certain brands. I got things to do, bro. I got calls that needs to happen. I got my own content to do. I'm still gonna be there, but you know, you lot just see me waffling at 10 and 11:30, bro. It's a big man, you lot, to care about the net. Come on, man. Cantona is a goat. Rashi going through this Lingard saga. He should have learned from him. You think you can learn from a man that screams beans? Crazy, man. Make sure you get some food. 100%, man. Need to eat. I've had breakfast, but still. On that note, though, man, let me get out. I'm going to the next StreamYard, people. Obviously, we've spoken about Arsenal. We're going to speak about Arsenal. There's more content to come. You lot, again, the week soon done. Make sure you're having a progressive week in terms of your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, and aspirations.
There's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like